Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Ko Haloyimla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. Zachanan the Wap just coming at you with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying by the Spirit. And I want to play this little small TikTok clip right here, right? Of this so-called white man and this supposedly this is his son, but let's get it.
Who is this? Mama Kayla. Do you think that you look like Mama Kayla and Sissy Witten, or do you look like Daddy? Why do you think you look like them? You guys have the same nose?
Yeah.
Do you have the same mouth?
Yeah.
Do you have the same eyes?
Yeah.
Do you have the same eyes as Daddy?
No.
No. You're
white.
I'm white. Where am I white at?
Where are your fingers?
My fingers are white?
Yeah.
Is my face white?
Yeah.
What color is your fingers?
Brown.
Brown. Who else's face is brown?
Okay, yeah.
Mama Kayla. Yeah, you're so smart. Who is this?
Okay, so as you can see, now if this is really his son, then this little boy is an Edomite. He will be a so-called white man, just with tint or hue or color. And there's a lot of people that's running around out here like that. This is what you call a tear. If this is his son, right? There's a lot of so-called, they look like they're so-called black people, but they're actually so-called white people, and they have a different spirit. They don't have the same spirit as Jacob. So you have Esau, which is this so-called white man. And we say so-called because you can see his t-shirt is white. He's not the same color as his t-shirt. That's a social construct that was made up by the so-called white man. His real biblical name is Esau, Edom. He's actually red. You see? So now let's go into the scriptures real quick. Unless, but if that's really his son, that little boy is an Edomite, man. Let's go to Genesis real fast. And let's get the twins. Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. See, that's the biblical name for the so-called white man. And like I said, again, we say so-called white man because they're not actually white. They're pinkish to reddish in color. And there's no one actually black. You notice the little boy, he said, I'm brown. At least he even has sense enough to know that he's brown and not black. You see? But you got these grown-ass Negroes running around, with their fist in the air talking about I'm black and I'm proud. But let's see here. Now, this is where, let me see. I wanted to find this on where he got his his secondary name right here. Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. For I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom. Over in NLT over here to the right, it says, Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew. This is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. So let's go back now. Check this guy out. Is he white or is he red? Like, come on, man. And you already know how they turn when they hit that sun. When that sun hit, they be all out on the beach with suntan, sunscreen on, and all this other shit trying to get some color because they really know that something is missing about them because everybody on the planet actually have somewhat of some color or somewhat of some tint. But they're the only race of people that's on the planet that don't. But they got everybody out here thinking like, we're white, we're pure, we're innocent, all the great things that come with the word white. When you look at the term black, it's got all kinds of negative shit in the definition, man. Ungodly, um, deathly, void of light, void of spirituality. You just look up the word black, man. It's got all. So every time you so-called blacks is calling yourself that, you're calling yourself a real negative term, man. You pretty much you should prefer being called a nigger over black any day. See, this is Esau Edom right here. Now, like I said again, if this is his son, then this little boy is a damn Edomite too. You see? Now you got people out here that front and portray to be our people, but they're actually not. Like you got like Tracy Ellis Ross. That's a so-called white woman. She just happened to pick up on a little bit more of her mother's little color and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Diana Ross, color. But her father is a so-called white man. You got Lenny Kravitz. That's a so-called white man. You know, they get the hair texture a little bit. You know, they get a little bit of that color, like your Jussie Smollett. Them Smollett brothers and sisters. Those are Edomites. Those are not so-called black people. Those are not our people. And you can just tell it's just something about them. They just don't have it, man. You know, because we we're the salt of the earth. Well, let's go into the parable of the wheat and the tares. Because the Lord is going to come back and separate us, man. The Lord knows the spirit of man. He created all the spirits. He knows that there are actually people out here that look like they're so-called black people, but they're actually so-called white people. And vice versa. You know, it's some Israelites that's out here that actually look like so-called white people. This guy could be an Israelite. You know, this guy could be an Israelite. Because there are some of our people look like this guy. You know, some of our people look like they're so-called Chinese, Japanese. All we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man, and our people look like everybody out here. You know, but it's that spirit of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you got to come from that seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let me get let's just put in wheat. Could be tares on there. Let's see. Okay. Let's go into it. Matthew chapter 13. And this is the parable of the wheat and weeds. Another parable, this is Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven, and this is Yahushua speaking, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, and they whitewashed him to make him look like he's a so-called white man. But the Lord is a dark melanated man with woolly hair, you know, with a deep voice, an austere man, which means that he was rough, he was rigid, man. Not this effeminate looking so-called white man that we're accustomed to seeing. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So now, if you've ever I've done lessons on it before, but if you Google wheat and tares, which I can do that real quick, what you're gonna see is they look exactly alike until the harvest. You can't really tell the difference between the two until they're actually full grown. It says, verse 27. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, which is, he just said no. Lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in a bundle to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. And this is going off into the wheat is the nation of Israel. And like I said again, our people look like an array of nations, man, because the men of our nation laid down and had sex with the women of other nations, and the children, as time goes on, grandson, and all that other good stuff, as time goes on, our people lost the color, lost the look, and started to look like the other nations, but they're actually Israelites. If you come from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're an Israelite. But if you come from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, you're an Edomite, and you're going to be burned, man. The Lord said he's going to, gather them into a bundle so that they can be burned. But the nation of Israel is going to go into his barn. Now let's get, let me see where it's at, because it explains this parable. Now here you go right here, verse 36. Parable of the wheat and weeds explained. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. Okay? And the Son of Man, is Yahushua. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. The children of the kingdom are the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. So there's a wicked seed that's out here, man. And it's the so-called white man. The enemy that sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world, end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. See? Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Or who, if you can understand, then you can understand this. And this is what's going to happen to just the Edomites in general. But the Edomites have sown seed, during slavery. They raped a lot of our women, and eventually, because they wasn't claiming those children, man. They wasn't claiming the children that they impregnated the so-called black woman. They wasn't claiming them. Them kids was going right into the field with every damn body else. Or they was more like, house servants, so to speak, like the so-called house nigger. But those children was coming out. Some of them was still looking like they were so-called white people, but some was coming out with color of the mother. So as they grew up, they were having, sex with the so-called black woman, getting married, because like I said, the so-called white man, he wasn't dealing with them slave children. They grow up, meet up with a so-called black woman, and carry life on. But in the meanwhile, those children that are being born from them, they're becoming darker and darker and darker, chocolater, but they're actually Edomites. They're tares, man. There's plenty of people out here like that. There's plenty of people that's out here that look like they're so-called blacks, man, and they're not. Salakia. So, as a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Oh, you know what? Salakia, let me go into let's get this DuckDuckGo real quick. We can put in wheat and tares. Let me open up another little tab here. Let's just put in wheat and tares. And what you're gonna see is they look just alike. That's why you can have somebody, amongst our, see, they can't help but go off, play off the so-called black, so to speak, because they don't have no choice, because they look like us, but they're not actually us in spirit, man. Okay, this is wheat and tares. Let's get some images. And they look identical. See, here you go. Here's a good one right here. They look almost identical until you get to the point of the harvest. Wheat before it's fully ripe, tares, see? And they look similar, but if they're growing together, then you're not going to be able to tell. The only time you're going to be able to tell is after that, when that harvest comes, man. See? You go another one right here. See, they're similar, but they're not the same. And that's a beautiful illustration, man. The Lord is cold, man. So let's go back. Let's go into the book of Numbers so we can see how genealogy goes forth, man, or your progenitor, your race, your ethnicity, so to speak. Now, this is the registration of Israel's troops, and this is how life flows, man. The seed comes from the Father. He carries the seed in his scrotum. So his nutsack, so to speak. Not to be sounding graphic, but he carries that seed, and whatever that seed is, that's exactly what that child is going to be. It doesn't matter what the mother is. It says, Numbers chapter 1, verse 1, and Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families. See? By the house of their fathers. It don't say the house of their mothers, just say by the house of their fathers. With the number of their names, every male by their polls. It said every male, not every female. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. Thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. And with you there shall be a man of every tribe. See that? A man of every tribe, not a woman of every tribe. Every one head of the house of his fathers. See that? Not the house of his mothers. This is how nationalities are played out, man, on this planet, man. Because the male, he carries the seed. If you plant cucumbers, if you plant cucumber seeds, you're gonna get cucumbers, man. Simple. Watermelons, you're gonna get watermelons. You know, whatever the seed is, you're gonna get just that. And see, the so-called white man, he done fooled the world into thinking that you're biracial, you're mixed, you're multiracial, and you all these different things, but you are exactly what your dad is. There's no way around it. And then it goes on to name off the tribes, right? So it says, verse 5, and these are the names of the men that shall stand with you. Of the tribe of Reuben, see, it goes on, Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. All these are the 12 tribes, the 12 sons that Jacob had. This is how you go about knowing who you come from, man. It's your father. Now you got these people over there, them small hatters that's over there in the land. They'll say that it goes by the mother, but they're, you know, everything in this man's kingdom and world is upside down and backwards, man. They pronounce evil as good, good is evil, you know, night is day, day is night. You know, this man is out here telling you that a new day starts at 12 a.m., 12:01 a.m. in the morning, when everybody dead and they sleep. That's not the way that everything that this guy does is off, man. It's off. This man is writing laws that tell you that a man can be a woman can be a man. So you can't listen to nothing that the so-called white man is telling you, man. They even lied about the color of the Lord, the way that he looks. Whitewashed all the pictures and told you that your Lord looks like him. You know how wicked of a you gotta be, man. Golly, man. But anyway, I don't want to keep this long. Just wanted to touch on this because this is a beautiful illustration right here of you know what's up. And a lot of our people really, you know, they believe in this white and black crap. But this man is red. We went into the scriptures to show you this he is Esau Edom, the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. It says Esau, he's red, man. You can't get around it. You can't get around it. Now, what they used to try and do was push this on the so-called Native American Indians by calling them red men. But the so-called Native American Indians was melanated people, brown people. So this man been trying to get around the fact that he's Esau Edom forever. But the Lord is putting him on Front Street right now, man. People are starting to see. And you see, when you go into that story, he wanted some of that same red pottage. That was meaning that clown couldn't wait for the food to get done. He's out here eating raw food. Who's the man that'll eat a raw ass steak like it's nothing? We're not into that. So-called blacks is not. We like our food cooked, man. We like our food well done. This man right here, he'll throw that shit on a grill and sear it on one side for about 3 seconds and sear it on the other side for about 3 seconds, or don't even sear it at all. They'll just cut right into it, man, and get busy. Red. They like their meat red. This is the microwave guy. The guy that he's impatient. He can't wait for nothing, man. This guy sold his birthright for this. And that's what they're so pissed with you so-called Negroes about. Is about we have that birthright, man, and we have that blessing. Once this kingdom falls, and we go into our kingdom, we gonna put their asses in the full check. And this little baby right here, if he's an actual Edomite, he's going right on into slavery as well. Straight up. Perfect illustration, man. This right here is your Esau and Jacob right here. One came out red, the other one came out, brown like everybody else. But anyway, I just wanted to just touch on this, man. This is a real stumbling block to our people, because a lot of our people really do think that they're multiracial or they're biracial. Them terms are not even that old. You know, if you look them up in the dictionary, they're not that old. So this is something that our people should know, man, because like I said again, it's a real stumbling block in our neighborhoods, and not, you know, us just being destroyed for lack of knowledge. We don't know as a people, as a collective, man. We don't know. You know, we just going off what the so-called white man done was he enslaved you and taught you his shit. That's how, you know, that's what happens when you're conquered. It's that simple, man. And that's what's going to happen in our kingdom. We're going to conquer them, and they're going to learn all our stuff, but in the righteousness, and they're going to learn the true truth. You see? So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala.